Hi everyone, it's Dr. Scott again. This mini lecture is going to be talking about writing introductions. These introductions will be the very first paragraph or the introduction paragraph to our first 5-paragraph essay we will be writing this semester. So last week you had to write a thesis statement. That will come into play as you write your introduction, since your thesis statement is always included within your introduction paragraph. So if you already turned that in and got it approved by me, that means that you actually already have part of your introduction complete. You'll just have to add that in. So talking about introductions, at the end of the introduction, a reader should be able to answer 3 questions based on what you've provided. So, what is it about? What is this essay going to be about? Why is it important to know about this? So, why should I care? And what do you want me to do or think about this? So, the reader should know your topic. They should know why it's interesting or why anybody should care. And then also know your main driving point. Are you trying to get them to choose a product over another product? Are you trying to inspire them to learn about something or purchase something? They should know generally all of that by the end of paragraph 1. So, you should answer those questions for the audience, set context, provide information about the main idea. I'm going to skip ahead because I'm going to show you some easier to follow steps. So I always like to say that a good introduction paragraph is going to have some kind of attention grabber, followed by a transitional sentence, followed by your thesis statement. Now, there's different schools of thought on this. You do not have to have an introduction paragraph that's only 3 sentences long, but I would argue if those 3 sentences are very effective, very good sentences, and they follow this pattern, I think that they are interesting and they are long enough. So maybe get away from an elementary school when your teacher said a paragraph has to be a certain amount of sentences. When it comes to the introduction paragraph to an essay, it doesn't have to be 10 sentences long. You are just getting the person's attention. You are telling them what you are going to be telling them and trying to get them to care with you and continue reading what you're writing. So I'm going to go through an example. So first you want an attention grabber. An attention grabber can come in different forms. You can have a question, so a thought-provoking question that you want to start with that gets your reader wondering or reflecting on themselves or their own choices or preferences, depending on your topic. You could start with a shocking statistic. So here the question was, what would it be like to live in a world without stray animals? So if you were writing an essay about maybe some kind of solution to stray animals, that might be something to start with. A shocking statistic. Each year, approximately 2.7 million dogs and cats are killed because shelters are too full and there aren't enough adoptive homes. So I don't know where you're going with it yet, but that shocking statistic or very sad or very exciting statistic has grabbed my attention and has made me want to continue to see where are you going to take this? What's your point? Another shocking statistic could be only 1 out of every 10 dogs born will find a permanent home, right? It evokes an emotion of sadness. It makes people maybe feel like a little bit angry and want to know like why. So your shocking statistic or your question, it makes people think, it makes them feel, it makes them care about what you're saying. You could also just start with an interesting fact, like it's impossible to determine how many stray dogs and cats live in the United States. Estimates for cats alone range up to 70 million. So that's a super interesting fact. I had no idea there were up to 70 million stray cats at any given time in the United States. That sounds like a problem. And then then you're going to transition me on here into your thesis in which you tell me what your main point is and what you're convincing me of, what you're educating me on. So first you have your attention grabber. That's sentence 1. This is just the first sentence is one of these options based on your topic. After the attention grabber, insert your thesis from last week's discussion assignment. So here, is a middle school example that I've used in the past. 6th grade students should donate concession stand profits to Hearts for Rescue because their organization helps local stray animals, reconnects lost animals with their owners, and promotes empathy while combating animal cruelty in Southeast Missouri. So I took my claim and then I added my 3 subtopics, or my 3 points that I'm going to be talking about throughout the body paragraphs. Your transitional sentence should connect what you had at the beginning, so connect your attention grabber to your thesis statement. And again, attention grabber, a transition sentence, and then your thesis. And that is paragraph 1. So here's an example. In the end, who will control the internet? So I started with a thought-provoking, a thought-grabbing or attention-grabbing question, thought-provoking question. Government agencies, internet service providers, and customers are in a battle over the freedom of net neutrality. So this is a transitional sentence. I'm segueing or transitioning from my interesting fact or shocking statistic to my thesis statement. So my attention grabber is in blue, highlighted. My transitional sentence connecting my attention grabber to my thesis is in yellow. And then I end with my thesis statement, which here is net neutrality protects consumers by preserving free speech on the internet, preventing ISPs from increasing or decreasing speeds for certain content, and encouraging competitive pricing between service providers. It's very important that in your thesis, which we talked about last week, it's important that it has your claim, which you will be proving, but also has your 3 subtopics, your 3 points that you are going to be discussing to try to prove your claim, to support your claim. Because what you can do next week when we start talking about the other paragraphs will be that the preserving free speech on the internet will then be your next body paragraph. Body paragraph 2 will be preventing ISPs from changing the speed of our internet. And then body paragraph 3 will be encouraging competition and prices between providers so there's not a monopoly. So what you've just written, or what you're looking at right now, would be paragraph 1. Paragraph 2, 3, and 4 are going to be going into more detail about these 3 subpoints that you brought up within your thesis. And then finally, because it's a 5-paragraph essay, we will be ending with a conclusion paragraph, which we will talk about later in the course as we develop this essay. So in a couple weeks, we will talk about that. If you have any questions about how to write your introduction paragraph, first of all, make sure you watch this video. Go back over the course notes. If you still have any questions, email me at jessicascott@trcc.edu. But remember, for your introduction, it really just has to be 3 sentences. It's an attention grabber, some kind of transitional sentence that takes me from what you just told me at the beginning to your thesis. And then finally, you end with your thesis, which we wrote last week. So I look forward to reading your introductions, and then we can continue those next week as we develop our first 5-paragraph essay.